Like a lot of people would see that and say, nah, you lost 3 grand. I don't see it as that. I paid for 3 grand worth of experience.
Wait, no. Niggas soft, always hiding from the gang. Move away, that's an ordinary thing. Guala, that's my name. Niggas snitching, what you think this was a game?
Hey, what's good? Welcome back to Plicity Studios. Today we're gonna get day 6, and today we're gonna be talking about how you can be the best at what you do. So yeah, let's get into it, man. Alright, so what does it mean to be the best at what you do? So I think when we say be the best at what you do, you kind of gotta see what area you're in, see what niche you're in, and see how you can be the best in that category. And I think like a big thing for me that has always kept me level, and it's kind of a nice goal to set off because it keeps you motivated in a way, but it's to not look at everybody else around you when you do this. And not to say that when we say be the best, you're gonna compare yourself to other people, but I think rather if you can compare yourself to yourself and you can compete with yourself and you can constantly be better than who you were yesterday, then in a way over time you're gradually going to overtake your competitors and you're gonna shoot way further than them, because even when you are the best, even when you are on top, you're still gonna keep on improving because you're gonna be better than what you were before. So I think when we say you gotta be the best at what you do, I think a big aspect of it, yeah, you gotta look at what you do and see how you can be better than the people around you. But the biggest thing for me is that you gotta be better than yourself, man. Be better than what you did last time. You can't fall under that. You can't, like, every time you set the bar, you gotta raise that higher. It's like in a test, if you get 60%, next test you write for that subject, best believe you need to get 61% at least. And that's how I feel like you should go about this. Not to say that not to worry about what everybody else is doing and what marks everybody else is getting, but you gotta say, okay, what did I get last time? How can I improve on what I did? Alright, so yeah, man, getting into today's 3 things. The first thing that I said, as I mentioned earlier, you need to compete with yourself. You need to run your own race. And I think a lot of times we get like caught up because we focus on what other people are doing. We focus on what they're doing or what he's doing, what she's doing. Focus about the moves that they're making. But all it does is it trips you up. Like, I think if you can focus on your race, focus on what you're running, focus on what you're doing, focus on making whatever you're doing like perfect. Okay, not necessarily perfect, but improving it as you go along. I think it's gonna take you to another level because now you're not worried about what everybody else is doing around you, and it's gonna hold you to a higher standard. A lot of times people like to compare themselves to everybody else to get a measure of how good or how bad they're doing. So it's like if everybody does badly in something, if you do badly in it as well, it's okay. But I like to think differently. I say no, it's not okay if everybody does badly and I also do badly. We need to be better than that. We need to push ourselves to be better than that. Even if maybe something difficult did come up, you need to raise yourself to a level, raise yourself to a standard, and you need to hold yourself accountable to that. And I think focusing on yourself and running your own race and competing with yourself is one way to do that, because you're not worried about other people around you. Whether people around you are excelling or whether they're not excelling, it doesn't affect your game, it doesn't affect your progress, and it doesn't affect how you achieve your goals. Alright, so for point number 2, I said that we need to learn from our failures. So a couple videos ago, I said that we need to fail fast, and when we fail, we need to pick ourselves up, see why we failed, and then change that, tweak that thing, and then continue moving. So this is kind of the same thing. We need to learn from whenever we fail. So I think whenever you do something, there's always a learning experience. I used this analogy with my one friend one time. Like I bought these hoodies, right, from this one lady. It was like a different type of print. It was a problem. Anyway, I spent like almost 2-3K on these hoodies, like just getting the manufacturers, because it was a sublimation print, and when you start up that thing, like the startup costs are really high, so everything worked out to about like 3 grand. And so I was like, let's do it, like let's go for it. And then I paid like the 3 grand in, and then it completely flopped. Like the hoodies came out trash, and the thing is, it wasn't even like her fault. Most of it was my fault because I think I kind of rushed the process. Like I was like, it was such a painful process. At the end of it, I was just so fed up. I was like, you know what, just get it done, just get the hoodies done and give it to me, man. Then when I got it, it was so whack. Like I tell you, the cut was like trash. It was like, bruh, like the shoulders weren't, it was just like I can't even explain it. But basically in that thing, like a lot of people would see that and say, nah, you lost 3 grand. I don't see it as that. I paid for 3 grand worth of experience, because now I know whenever I'm going to somebody that gets their own things made like that, I need to give them proper guidelines of how I want the cuts and all of those things, and I need to choose the materials more carefully, and I need to make sure that I have my files in a certain type of format, and I need to make sure that everything's perfect. So in that experience, I learned a lot about how sublimation works and what you can do, what you can't do. And so a lot of people would say, nah, but you lost all of that money. But I don't see it as that. I see it as I got that amount of money with the experience. So in a way, if you think of it like this, you're never really losing. And it is kind of weird because this is not sustainable. Obviously over time, if you keep just throwing money at things without thinking about it, you're going to be at a loss. You're gonna it's not gonna be good. But I think a lot of times you need to look at these things from a different perspective and say, nah, I didn't just lose 3 grand. That was 3 grand that could potentially save me 500,000 rand. Could potentially make me 1 million rand because I know what I'm doing next time. You know what I'm saying? Next time if I have a deal that's worth a lot more, maybe the deal is worth 10 grand startup cost. Then now at least going into this, I know, okay, I need to watch out for this, I need to watch out for that. And even if I don't know exactly what I'm doing, I need to research more to find out the process and understand how it works better. So from that, I gained so much knowledge that's gonna save me so much money in the future. And I think that gets you closer to being the best, because now you're not making the same mistake twice. If you constantly making the same mistakes over and over and over, it's like, do you really want this? Like, are you really trying to improve, or are you just wasting your time here? But I mean, like, obviously some things are out of your control. Things that happen to you, you don't really have much say in that. But I think the decisions that you make and the power that you carry, you get to choose what you do. And I think if you fail in one area, if you make a mistake one time, don't make that mistake again. Even if you have a book that you like, leave that book only for mistakes that you've made, and every time you mess up, you go and you write, hey, I did this wrong, it was because of this and this is why it didn't work. And then you physically write that down to note to yourself, don't do that again. Next time you're in that situation, you know, hey, whoa, last time I did this, I went this route, I wasn't thinking clearly, and I just rushed into it and I made a mistake. Now when I'm going into it, I'm gonna be calm, and I'm gonna be attentive, and I'm gonna listen to what they're saying, and if I agree with it, I'm gonna go with it. If I don't agree with it, I'm gonna stand on that point. And that's something that we need to all take into account, that we don't repeat our mistakes over and over and over. Because if you're making the same mistake over and over and over, bro, you're wasting your time. I can't even cap it to you. Alright, so for point number 3, you need to realize that you must never allow yourself to get comfortable. Never get comfortable in what you're doing. It's this thing of like, you gotta stay satisfied with being unsatisfied. Like, be grateful for what you have now and what you've achieved, but also be unsatisfied in the sense that you need to chase more and you need to go after more. If you can picture yourself sitting on a couch, right? Like after a really long day, you're tired, you've been walking the whole day, your body is sore, you just wanna sit, you just wanna chill, and then it's like, so you're sitting on this couch now, right? You're comfortable. You're sitting there and it's comfortable. When you're comfortable in that position and you have everything that you need, nothing is gonna make you move. Like, let's say before you sat down, you went and copped some snacks, you copped some food, like you got the remote there, the TV's on, entertainment set, the food is set, you got like a glass of Coke, I don't know, so you got the drink set, and it's like, so now you're sitting there, you're comfortable, you have everything that you need around you, and you're satisfied. But now, nothing is gonna make you move from that position. Like, unless it's like a really life-threatening situation, you're not moving from that couch, bro. Like, somebody tells you to go fetch something, who's gonna move from that couch to go fetch it, bro? Like, nah. So I think a lot of times when we settle with what we have and we say, okay, this is enough, I don't need to get any more, in life it's exactly the same as sitting on that couch. Like, when we settle with what we have and we say, okay, this is enough, I don't need to work anymore, now we're done. You're sitting on that couch, but what happens is that on that couch you're not moving, you're not progressing, you're not getting better. And so eventually, as you're sitting on that couch, you start to watch movies, but now, hey, the movies start finishing because you've watched like 3 or 4 movies on a hard drive. Hey, they're running out, bruh. There's only like the whack ones left. Your snacks are starting to finish. Now the Coke is like this much, and it's like you're sitting here and you're running out of things, but you're not moving, you're not progressing, you're not getting better. So you're consuming all of these products, but you're not getting better. And this is what we need to look out for in life. We need to make sure that we're never in this state of being comfortable to the point where we're not getting better, we're not improving. Because this is so, and as I said, you're just consuming. But you can't just be consuming, you need to be moving, you need to be doing things, you need to be progressing. We need to make sure that we're not getting comfortable in where we're at, because when we get comfortable, that's when everything starts to fall apart. Because it's like we're working towards this thing, but it's constantly getting further and further away, and as soon as we stop, it just continues moving. Like time doesn't stop, right? I don't know if you've noticed, but like it's never just been like, I'm tired, let me take a break. Time continues. And so if we go about our lives saying, okay, it's time, it's enough now, let's just rest for like the next year and chill, and we can like just go out and party and do all of this shit, in a way, like, time is still going on. Things around you are still moving, but you're not moving. So you're actually going backwards if you think about it. So if you're not moving and you're not going forwards, you're not just standing still, you're actually going backwards, you're actually getting worse. So yeah, we need to make sure that we're not getting comfortable if we want to be the best at what we do. Alright, so yeah guys, that was today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it, hope you took something from that. Just a quick recap. We said number 1, you need to realize that this is your own race to run. Don't look at anybody around you, compete with yourself. Number 2, we said that you can learn from every single failure you make and don't make the same mistake twice. Number 3, we said that you should never settle and never become comfortable where you're at. Always continue to progress, always continue to improve, and always get better, man. Alright guys, I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to send this to your friends, let them take something away from this. And yeah, don't forget there's other videos in this series. If you haven't checked them out, be sure to go check them out. We got 4 days left, and yeah, we got some exciting stuff coming up. I think like save the best for last, obviously. But yeah, for now, we out.